Is there anything else from the council before I start? All right. So, all right, this is what we have. The coronavirus hotline. Okay. If everybody didn't know that we are in a state of emergency, and the governor has called that, and then I have as well under 166A. All right. So, coronavirus hotline. There's a hotline which is 1-866-462-3821. 1-866-462-3821. If you have any questions about your symptoms, and if you have any symptoms, please dial that number. Just don't show up to work.
Except for the city manager. He has to show up.
All right. So, yeah, except for the city manager. Don't show up to work if you have a virus. If you have a virus, if you have a temperature, please go to the hospital, get checked out, or call first. Call this line to see what you need to do. So that number is 1-866-462-3821. If you wake up in the morning, you have a fever, don't go to work. There is the the Chief Justice of North Carolina, Sherry Beasley, and now there's an order given out by Amelda Pate to start talking about summary ejectments and executions, evictions. So that has been suspended for 30 days, so there will be nobody that'll be actually kicked out of their home, so to speak, what we'll call it. You will not be evicted in this process for the next 30 days at least, in accordance to the orders given down through the state of North Carolina. Judge Amelda Pate and Judge Beth Heath also issued an order. So that's in effect right now. Mr. Attorney, I don't know if you know about it, but that is the case. I talked with both of them today. But I just want to let the public know, because there's a lot of folks that's asking those type questions if they have court dates or whatsoever. So right now, what's happening in the court system is there is only going to be emergent type things that take place, DVPOs, domestic violence protection orders, warrants, things of that nature, only emergent things outside of that. So the court system will be closed to regular court settings for an unknown amount of time. So if you have court, think you have court, pick up the phone, call the clerk's office. I don't know if you're going to have court or not. I don't know when you're going to have court again. You may be continued for 30 days, 60 days. Right now, I think some time frame around somewhere in April type. So I don't know. I get those questions asked. I had so many questions that came out in the last couple of days. I don't know which way to go, but that's what that's about as far as the court system. So, and that's throughout the state of North Carolina. Suddenlink Altice are doing a 60 days free internet service. K through 12 students / college students. Suddenlink's number is 1-888-633-0030. 1-888-633-0030. Call that number. They'll be able to set you up for a period of about 60 days of free internet service under COVID-19 state of emergency. Spectrum, correction, let me go back. Optum Region, which is a company of Suddenlink as well, they have a contact number if you're in that particular region. What region that is, I don't have a clue. The phone number is 1-866-200-9522. 1-866-200-9522. Spectrum is also doing it if we have any Spectrum. We don't have Spectrum service providers, I don't believe, here in this county. But their number for those that are in the area of Spectrum is 1-844-488-8398, 1-844-488-8398. They're going to provide internet service as well for free. They have some certain restrictions on theirs, though. It's like you can't have, if you had them within 30 days, you won't be able to get the service. If you never had them before, is a qualifier, and you're getting the service for free for 60 days. Okay, so there's many cities and towns across the state that are going to a state of emergency, like Greenville, I think they have or had or have 12 pending cases. I guess you call it presumptive cases. I don't know what the status of those are. I'm just throwing this out. Um, just had a conversation with them. Craven, of course, has positive COVID individuals. You have Jacksonville, which is another one. Wake County. So as you look around, you'll see many cities and towns across North Carolina that's going to probably have those cases, and it's probably going to increase, and it's probably more than we think. If we get the necessary testing that we needed, then you'll probably see a whole lot more people actually test positive. But precautionary measures is the key. Wash your hands, washing out surfaces, soap and water. Somebody said singing TikTok or the birthday song while you're washing your hands is a sufficient amount of time. Also, what you call that social distancing. The gatherings, it went from 100 to 50 to now 10. So I don't know what direction we're going in the next couple of days. I don't know what's going to happen. It's just like a day by day thing. I don't know if Mr. Fauci is gonna make a statement, here in the future about, shutting down our U.S. for 2 weeks. I don't know, but that's they're talking about that. And I don't want to scare anybody. This is just reality. We just got to move how we normally move and take the precautionary measures necessary to, to make sure we don't spread it. So the key is containment and not have a community spread. So what has to happen is it has to be contained to keep from having a community spread. So that's what we don't want to happen, because then we'll be in a very tough situation. And so that's why all the cases that come through the hospitals or wherever it is reported, and those people are, kind of watched, so to speak, try to figure out where they are so that we don't have a community spread. UNC Illinois Healthcare has put restrictions in place on visitor policy. Their visitor policy, which is something like one person that can enter per patient in the hospital. If you're coming to ER and you have these symptoms, they're going to immediately direct you to another location. And depending upon what you say and what your temperature is, then you'll probably be in an area far off from everybody else. So, quarantine. So, just be careful. And if you are having any of these symptoms whatsoever, then you need to call the 800 number, get on Teladoc, call one of those doctors, and let them know what's going on so they can direct you on where to go. They can make those phone calls also to help you so that you can meet certain folks at different places, and then they can take care of you. Things are changing daily, so it can change from day to day. I don't know what we'll be doing midweek in the next 3 days. I don't know what Governor Cooper is going to say or what he's going to issue, but I believe he's looking. So there is daycare facilities, right? City of Charlotte has about 9 cases of COVID-19. The recommendation from their health department as of today is not to send your child to daycare. That's their recommendation. We have the national emergency. We have Executive Order 117. We have a state of emergency under cities, counties, villages. So we're now down to 10 people that should be gathering from the national level. So the question is, where do we go with daycare centers? That's a very good question. Do we need to close daycare centers? Probably. Is the recommendation to close the daycare centers? Depending on who you ask. Today in Charlotte, it said not to send your kids to daycare. That's from the health department. Here, we don't have any confirmed cases. But what does that mean? That just means that people haven't been tested. And we really don't know. So, just to put that out there, if and people make their own decision, but in the event that we do have some of those type of cases here, then that's what we'll probably look to doing if they don't close themselves first. But it's kind of hard to say that because you have families that need daycare, depending on where they work. So it all depends on what's pushed down to us, and we're just figuring it out day to day because, like we say, this is uncharted waters, and we don't know what we're going to be doing from day to day. So,
Mr. Mayor, if you don't mind, I'd like to take a quick opportunity and talk about what the city of Kinston is doing and what our policies are, and there have been some changes just to inform our citizens about some things that are going on.
Yeah.
As of today at noon, we closed all of our rec community centers, including, Steve? The Kinston Community Center. We closed that down today starting at noon. And one of the reasons we did that is we had talked earlier late last week about if the schools close, what we do at our community centers for the very reason that you were talking about there with daycares, Mayor, is how do we limit those individuals from coming and gathering. We thought we know that those are gathering places. We know that kids are out, and we don't want to remove things from kids. We don't want to pull resources, but obviously these are very challenging times with requires a lot of different changes. And so today we closed all of our community centers indefinitely. We don't know what, a lot of people are doing the 14 days. We don't know how long this is going to last. So we have those closed indefinitely. Starting tomorrow, you will not be able to come physically inside of City Hall. All of our employees are still going to be here. You're still able to make your utility payments. Let's cover the different ways that you have that ability. Our drive-through is still open. Feel free to come to the drive-through here at City Hall. If you don't have your bill, if you need to work on a payment arrangement, typically we ask you to come inside if you have those types of requests. We're going to be able to service you at the drive-through window there. We have a payment box that's outside. We're in the process of having it repainted. We put some signs out there today to remind people that you can bring payments by and drop them off day or night. We will be checking that box multiple times throughout the day. So if you have a payment, you can come through the drive-through. We encourage you to use the payment box. We also have our website. You can go to ci.kinston.nc.us and make a payment there. We also request that if you need to, you can call and make payments by telephone, which is something that we've done for years. You don't have to remember all this. I challenge you to remember one thing. If you will dial 939-3282, those individuals are still there. It is fully staffed. Our employees here at City Hall will be helping man that number as well. If you're uncertain how to make a payment, if you need a request, I know that we were just talking about planning and inspections a little while ago. If you're needing a building permit, we ask that you do that online. Call 939-3282. They will get you to that right number. That's kind of our resource. That's our hub, is getting whatever transaction you need. The only thing that you're still going to be able to do at City Hall is the kind of the waiting area when you first come in the police department is still going to be open. It's kind of a self-contained individual or individualized area where you can't get past that. That will still be staffed as it always is. We ask that no matter what you need from the city of Kinston, call that 939-3282. Your garbage is still going to be picked up. Your recycling is still going to be picked up. We're still going to make water leak repairs. If there's potholes, we're still going to work toward that. Our staff is going to continue just like it is every day, providing you those level of services. You just won't be able to enter City Hall. Again, if you have any questions, you have any concern, 939-3282, we'll be able to help you and service you in the best way that we need. And we want to help all of our employees. We want to help all of the citizens. If you have any questions, we want to find a way to help service you.
Mr. City Manager, it's a little confusion nationally. I know they're discussing with Congress and all, telling people that your electric bill or your wages may be reimbursed. I know they haven't been a definitive answer on that yet, but some people were getting happy and thinking like they don't have to pay their bill.
I assure you that the payment will still need to be made. I'm not sure what Congress is doing. I think what Congress is talking about is payroll taxes. I think that's how they're looking at infusing money into. I know that Congress met today. I'm not sure what the outcome of that is. You're doing some things here in City Hall. And I appreciate there's been a lot of questions and conversations saying that, well, Duke Energy isn't having the turnoff policy. In Kinston, Lenore County, I'm not sure of any business who's closed, but so people are still going to work. Here's the issue that the difference between Duke and your public power agency. Duke is multi-state. They're dealing with factors that are not just Kinston, Lenore County. They're dealing with multi-factors and a lot of different things. Where we're here, we're localized. There are people who need payment arrangement. When the sun's shining and the weather's great, we help those individuals. If you find yourself without work and you're having difficulty paying your utility bill, we encourage you to call us. Just because Duke is doing one thing doesn't mean that it fits everybody. We know that it would be nice to say, oh, hey, you don't have to make that payment, but here's ultimately what happens. People will get behind, and then it's harder to catch up, and we'd love to have the opportunity to help you now. If you have any type of issue with paying your utility bill, we encourage you to call us. We want to help you. We want to help you in the way that we helped you during hurricanes, during snowstorms. The same things that we did then, we'd love to do now. We don't want people to get behind on their bills. We'd love to go ahead and get a payment arrangement so that that citizen, that customer can go ahead and get that peace of mind that you're not going to have to worry about your utilities being turned off. We want to be there. We want to help you, and we want to encourage you. We give you those 4 different opportunities to make payments. Call that 3282 number. Customer service is standing by. They're willing to help you with payment arrangements to move forward. And we're going to be more lenient than probably we have been in the past. So leniency is where I think the best area for the city of Kinston to help. And I think that's something. But as far as what Congress is doing, I think that a lot of that is up in the air. We're not exactly sure how that's going to work.
And the last thing, you and the mayor mentioned that things are happening day by day, and right now the school system is doing like a 14-day type closure intervals. And a couple of people asked me about the city of Wilmington. They closed their Azalea Festival last week.
Mm-hmm.
They're not having the Azalea Festival, and they were asking me about the
Barbecue Festival.
Barbecue Festival. What's the status on that? I know we're about 45 days out. You know, I know I'm with a group, the Afro American Heritage Commission. We're supposed to have something in the park April the 25th. So, you know, instead of spending a lot of money on advertisement, we were kind of on a wait and see to see.
Yes, sir.
So maybe.
Very prudent decision. For the Barbecue Festival, just a reminder, the city of Kinston doesn't host the Barbecue Festival. However, we do approve the permit that allows the Barbecue Festival. So that's kind of where we're at. It's not the city of Kinston's initial call to call that. That's the decision of that board. Obviously, if they don't at some point, it's this body's need to decide on what to do. I was called and had a conversation with TDA today regarding the Barbecue Festival, and what we decided is we'll take the next 14 days to make that decision. As Mr. Hardy said, we're approximately 45 days out, but they have a lot of people who make plans and a lot of vendors and a lot of other things to happen, and I encourage people to think where we were last Monday to where we are today and the amount that has changed. So I think if we have an extra 14 days, let's just let the Barbecue Festival ride. Let's just see what happens in the course of not only Kinston and Lenore County, North Carolina, but as far as the United States. And let's see where we are. But I think we're plus or minus 2 weeks away from really needing to get to that, or is the city council going to address it? Maybe they decide to pull their permit, not move forward. If not, I think we're 3 weeks away from this body meeting again, and that's an opportunity to pick up that decision.
Mr. Mann, I just want to say thank you for your definite explanation. If there are any residents out there that might have problems or think you're going to have problems with paying your bill, please call the 939-3282 number and let us work with you during this process. Don't wait till the last minute. Please call the 939-3282.
If you can't remember that number, it's on your trash can. So.